In this video, let's take a look at the antithetic variates technique for reducing the standard error of our Monte Carlo estimator. Let's do this. Let's start by very quickly recapping the standard Monte Carlo procedure. Let's say there is a random variable x and there is a function g of x. The task at hand is to use Monte Carlo simulations for estimating the expected value of g of x. Okay, the first step would be to replicate, or let's say simulate, many values for this random variable x. To do this, we start by simulating these many values, let's say, of a random variable u, which follows the uniform distribution with lower limit 0 and upper limit 1. Okay, please note this, that these replications for u, all these replications, they are actually independent of each other. Okay, as a next step, we would individually pass each of these replicated values of u through the inverse CDF, the inverse cumulative distribution function for our random variable x. Okay, this will give us these many simulated values for x. This procedure is called the inverse transform method. Okay, because each of these u's, they were independent of each other, each of these x's will also be independent of each other. Okay, the next step will be to individually pass each of these values of x through the function definition g, and this will give us these many replicated values, these many simulated values for g of x. To keep our notation simple, let's do this. Let's denote each of these simulated values for g of x simply to be g1, g2, all the way till gb. Okay, Monte Carlo simulation, it arrives at the estimated value of this expected value of g of x through this very simple estimator. Okay, the expected value of g of x coming from Monte Carlo simulation is simply equal to the arithmetic mean, or let's say the simple average of these b simulated values of g of x. Okay, please remember this, that because each of these values of u which we started with, because each of these values were IID, therefore all these values of g that we've finally arrived at, these values will also be IID, independent and identically distributed. Okay, let's quickly reason out what should the standard error of this estimator be. Standard error is simply the square root of the variance of this estimator. This estimator is simply 1 over b, which is a constant, that times the sum of b IID random variables. Okay, so the variance of this guy, this guy would simply be 1 over b squared, that times the variance of the numerator, which, because these g's are IID, would simply be equal to b times the variance of each of these g's. That means b times, let's say, sigma g squared. Okay, because our g's are IID, there is no covariance term for us to worry about when we try and write down the variance of the sum of all these g's. There's no covariance for us to worry about. Okay, this standard error, it simplifies to sigma of g divided by the square root of b. Okay, so if, let's say, I want to make this estimator more precise, which means I want to reduce the standard error of this estimator, the simplest way, of going about this would be to increase the number of replications, to increase the number of simulations that I have chosen to work with. Okay, so if b increases, because b is sitting in the denominator, this standard error will indeed come down. But please note this, that there is this square root dependence when it comes to b. So if I wanted to make this standard error half of what it is at the moment, I will have to quadruple the number of simulations, which is b. Okay, and because Monte Carlo simulation is a very computationally intensive way of arriving at this final output, therefore quadrupling the number of simulations is a very inefficient way of reducing the standard error. And this is where antithetic variates technique comes in. Okay, antithetic, just going by the meaning of this word, means opposite. Okay, and antithetic variates technique tries to reduce the variance of this sum of g's by introducing some kind of an opposite behavior between, let's say, adjoining values of g. Okay, so what antithetic variates technique does is that instead of treating these g's to be b independent replications of g of x, what we do is that first of all we pair values of g together like this. Okay, so we take g1 and g2 to be a pair, g3 and g4 to be a pair, and lastly gb minus 1 and gb to be a pair. Okay, we will try and introduce some kind of a negative dependence between g1 and g2, between g3 and g4, and so on. Okay, therefore in this world of antithetic variates, instead of working with b independent replications of g of x, we'll be working with b over 2 independent replications, wherein each replication happens as a pair. Okay, so within each replication, we'll have a pair of values of g, and the two values which form a pair will be in some sense opposite of each other, will in some sense have a negative dependence with each other. Okay, introducing this negative dependence will now introduce the covariance terms when we try and write down the variance of this sum. And because we're talking about a negative dependence, this covariance will be a negative covariance, and therefore it will help us reduce the variance of this estimator. Okay, so that's the plan. So how do we go about doing this? Let's go back to the first step of this entire procedure. And this step was to simulate these many values of this random variable u. Okay, let's do this. Let's treat u1 and u2 to be a pair, u3 and u4 to be a pair, and therefore all the way till ub minus 1 and ub to be a pair. Okay, so within each pair of values, the second value in each of these pairs, instead of that value being a fresh and independent simulation, let's just set it to be equal to 1 minus the first value in the pair. So u2 is 1 minus u1, u4 is 1 minus u3, all the way till ub is 1 minus ub minus 1. Okay, so we are conducting b over 2 replications which are independent of each other, and within each replication we have a pair of values which have a negative dependence between themselves. Okay, if you were to try and calculate the correlation between any two values that go into a given pair, you will find that this correlation turns out to be a perfect -1. Okay, so correlation between u1 and 1 minus u1 is -1, between u3 and 1 minus u3 is again -1, and so on. Beyond this step, let's not change anything. Okay, let's just proceed the same way as we did in our standard Monte Carlo. In the end, we'll have b replicated values for g of x, but we will have a negative dependence between g1 and g2, a negative dependence between g3 and g4, and so on. Okay, let the correlation between g1 and g2, g3 and g4, and so on be denoted by rho. Okay, this correlation was a -1. This correlation needn't be a perfect -1, but this correlation will indeed be a number which is negative. Once we have our values of g's, our estimator is still the same, but our standard error of this estimator will now be different. Let's try and figure out what the standard error now turns out to be. Okay, again, standard error is the square root of variance, and our estimator is simply 1 over b times the sum of a few random variables, and hence the variance would be 1 over b squared, that times the variance of this numerator. In this numerator, we have these many pairs of values. Within any given pair, the variance turns out to be the variance of this guy, which is sigma g squared, plus the variance of this guy, again, which is sigma g squared, and now I also have to introduce the covariance term. Okay, so plus 2 times the covariance between g1 and g2, and that is simply 2 times the correlation between g1 and g2, which we've denoted by rho, that times the sigma of g1, that's sigma g, that times sigma of g2, that's again sigma g. So for any pairs of values which are being summed, the variance would be this much. And how many pairs do we have? These many pairs. So I'll have a b over 2 in the end. Okay, if I were to simplify this expression, the standard error for our estimator in the antithetic variates world turns out to be sigma of g divided by square root of b, this time the square root of 1 plus rho. Compare the standard error in our standard Monte Carlo with the standard error which we now have when we've switched to antithetic variates. Because this rho is negative, this standard error would be less than this standard error. Okay, and therefore antithetic variates has indeed helped us reduce the standard error for our estimator in a much more efficient way. That means without increasing the number of replications. Okay, this video was all about the antithetic variates technique and how it helps us reduce the standard error for our Monte Carlo estimator. Okay.